Hello, BookTube. Well, it's a bleak and barren Sunday. No books in the mail, no packages for Steve, and it's a little bleaker and barrener than usual because I have no company, no young people. Chris and Giselle have gone back home. My muscular teenagers are involved in titanic amounts of drinking that are related to the Super Bowl. Uh, it's just me and the invalids here, and I'm also on day 59. Uh, 59 consecutive days with no sleep at all. So that's that's well into a world record territory. It's also well into psychosis and actual physical breakdown territory. I'm just lucky that I'm a freak, so that hasn't happened. But it makes for Sundays to be a little long. So I thought I would console myself with a tag, like I usually do. And it's not just any tag. It's a tag, the kind of which I'm always honored to take part in. It's a foodie tag from Josh at Literary Gladiators. And they tagged me a while ago, and I haven't got to it. I don't know why. I think it might be that some people have an insatiable desire to see mail hauls. No names, mind you. But this is the pizza book tag. And I thought we jump right into it. This is prompt number one is cheese, a simple work possessing lots of depth. And there are all sorts of things that you could do here, all sorts of novellas or whatever. But I wanted to take the opportunity to recommend something I've recommended before here. It's a little bit hard to find, unless I think maybe one of you mentioned that it's online, that the whole text of it is online. That would be great. It's a short story called The Ugly Chickens by a science fiction author named Howard Waldrop. And it's about a man who discovers that maybe dodos aren't extinct. Just that. Just that. But the sheer narrative fun that Waldrop has with it is just amazing. And it also runs deeper than just fun. So it came to mind with a simple work possessing lots of depth. Then let's see here. Prompt number two is Pepperoni, a well-known, continuously popular work. And you'll notice the prompt doesn't ask you to evaluate the work. It just says it's well-known and continuously popular. I thought immediately of A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. It is well-known and it is continually popular. It is, I think, starting to get more elbows jabbed at it than it did during its rapturous first year of existence. I think you can see the Little Life pushback even on BookTube, as welcoming a book community as you could imagine. But the Pepperoni of the book world, it is the new Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. So I don't know. I don't know if that's what kind of a mixed blessing that is for an author, but one way or another, that came to mind. And then prompt number three is Mushroom, a textbook that you find engaging. Fascinating question. And there's one, of course, those of you who know me in real life will know. There's one for me that takes pride of place over all the others, and that's History of the Modern World by Palmer and Colton. I have it here, and it's this is just a paperback that I have, but it had a long life as a textbook, and it doesn't read like a textbook at all. It has a crystalline quality to the prose. I thought I'd read you a bit, just to try and give you the impression. The final disillusionment came in March 1939. Hitler marched into Bohemia, Moravia, the really Czech part of Czechoslovakia, which he had transformed into a German protectorate. Exploiting Slovak nationalism, he declared Slovakia, quote, independent. Czechoslovakia, merely trimmed down at Munich, now disappeared entirely from the map. Having promised to take only a bite, Hitler swallowed the whole. He then seized Memel from Lithuania and raised demands for Danzig and the Polish corridor. A horrible realization now spread in France and Britain. It was clear that Hitler's most solemn guarantees were worthless, that his designs were not limited to Germans but reached out to all Eastern Europe and beyond, that he was essentially insatiable, that he could never be appeased. And you see that the factual stuff there is something you'll find in any textbook, but did you catch that bullet cadence as the paragraph built to the climax, the series of that's prose that's being written to be read and enjoyed, not just for students to highlight in noxious fume yellow. So that came to mind. If you're out and about at a bookstore and you see a used copy of A History of the Modern World by Palmer and Colton, you ought to give it a try, because I bet you'll find yourself rereading chunks of it. The chunk on World War One, chapter on World War Two, the chapter on on imperialism. They're wonderful. Let's see here. Prompt number 4: sausage, a literary work that has just the right dose of genre. For this, I don't know. I might be a little off here. The thing I thought about was Ian Pearce's book Arcadia, which has science fiction woven all throughout it. And the reason I think I might be a little off is because it might be just a science fiction work that I'm judging a little wrong, because it's so literary in so many places. It's definitely the kind of book that a non-science fiction reader could pick up and enjoy. So I suppose that's why I thought of it. Prompt number 5: extra cheese, a work that was longer than it needed to be. And for me, this would be any novel by Stephen King. Also, any short story by Stephen King, and also his Post-it notes. Prompt number 6: garden. Favorite literary vegetarian. I think they said that it could be either an author or a character, and I came up with both. Of course, for an author, George Bernard Shaw, who's in a bit of a low point now in terms of the whole body of his work, but was once, the most famous literary person in the world. And for characters, of course, Mr. Spock, who's a vegetarian with only one exception, only one time in Star Trek where he eats meat and enjoys it, but he wasn't quite himself. Prompt number 7 is grandma. Didn't know that was a kind of pizza. A work that makes you think of your grandparents. The first thing that came to mind was the Táin, the great Irish epic, The Cattle Raid of Cooley. It has a wonderful English language translation by Penguin, so there's no reason why any of you couldn't read it. It's really, really good. In terms of epic national mythology, it ranks right up there. Prompt number 8 is Hawaiian, a work with a tropic atmosphere. For this, I pick a classic of the 20th century literature, one of the great novels of the 20th century, Far Tortuga by Peter Mathiasson, which is not only brilliant, but also deeply strange and deeply strangely written in a way that will stick with you for a long time after you're done, and that takes you a while to get into. It's a tremendously rewarding book, but it's not an easy one. Prompt number 9 is Anchovy, a work you feel that you and most people dislike. To which my answer is an immediate: who dislikes anchovies? What's wrong with anchovies? I don't accept the premise of the question. I could eat them by the barrelful. Prompt number 10 is Stuffed Crust, a work that grabbed your attention right from first sight. I think I'm not alone in this on BookTube. It was The Essex Serpent, and it was by Sarah Perry, and it was that for its cover. Just its gorgeous cover. I was very happy when the book itself turned out to measure up. I felt a little strange lusting after it for its cover alone, but it turns out to be a quite delightful novel. So, prompt number 11 is Best of the Best, your favorite kind of pizza. And I've waited until prompt number 11 to say, I don't like pizza. I was afraid if I mentioned that at the beginning, I'd be disqualified. I don't have a favorite kind of pizza. There's not one of it that I wouldn't take up off the back stoop. And then prompt number 12 is Pizza Party. Who do you tag? And I tag everybody. First of all, don't know how old this tag is. I think it's brand new. But I tag Jess at Garden Scriptorium. I tag Luke Lane Reeves. Do they have pizza in Wales? I tag the Jens, Sue at Sue's Book Nook. I tag all my usual cast of characters. Richard Bruna. If you haven't done the pizza book tag, you should do it. Adam at Memento Mori. Do they have a gourmet foodie kind of pizza? Maybe with little parsnips on it or whatever. But anyway, I tag everybody. These foodie book tags are they're an adornment of BookTube. And I thank you again, Josh, for tagging me. It's alleviated a bit of the stress of a bleak and barren Sunday. And I'll see you soon, BookTube, hopefully with a little sleep under my belt. That would be nice, but I say that every day. It doesn't happen. Oh my.